So Chelsea was obviously a big commitment from Anston's point of view. It's easier for me to draw things on a bit of paper, as in all those curved chop outs from the stepping stones, etc., which are all one-off pieces. How much grief and aggravation do that cause, Bruce, in the factory and the manufacturing of things like that?
Well, it certainly is a challenge for us because there's a lot of things to take into consideration, the tolerances and the angles and those sorts of things. But we've got two guys that work in the factory that they're pretty much full time on that sort of thing, so they've got all the equipment there for that. Yeah. And yeah, they love a challenge, and yeah, so it makes the job interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah. So it's not just all 500 by 500 pables that come out of Anston. It's a mix and some unique pieces as well.
No, certainly not. We probably make about 400 different sizes, which what we call our standard range. But we're probably we would always have a special project on the go at any one time in the factory, probably two or three with special pieces that have been designed by architects like yourselves, or designers or architects that want to come up with something out of the ordinary.
Yeah. There you go. Because you feel. So those really big pables, Bruce, that we put in there, I think they're 2.2 by 600 mil long and 100 mil chunky. Have I just been over the top, or are we going to be able to lift and manually handle those over there?
You'll need a few guys to do it, but I'd say they probably weigh about 200 kilos thereabouts each, but with a few guys on each side of it and some straps, I'd say you'll be fine.
For my peace of mind, were people moving them in the factory? Could you manually handle them?
Well, a combination of both. Some of the process involves machinery and some of it's just manpower, so I suppose if we can handle them in the factory with enough people around them, then
that's what I want to hear, because I really wanted that 100 mil and that real thick profile just to sit there with statement.
I know a lot of times probably guys doing installation think it's a lot of hard work with those bigger pieces, but the end result with stuff that you guys come up with design-wise, it makes a statement. It's great. So we enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm hoping they'll just hover over the pool, especially those curved ones. Yeah. And I don't know if you've heard ME lighting are involved, and there's all LED strip lighting underneath those. So as the night shot, they should hover over the top of the water and reflect off. So it should be a real dominant feature.
Yes, well, I mean, we had them set out, as you know, in the factory to make sure everything lined up for you, and when we just even saw them in the factory, they looked pretty significant. So with those effects, I'd say it should look great.
Yeah. The wall cladding that we've got in the pavilion, it's all 20 mil product, and then we've also got that wall cladding that runs into the pool as the feature wall, which is varying between 20 and 50 mil with those different sandblasted finishes to sort of reinforce the shadowing and layering of the two different thicknesses. Is that something standardly that you do, those different sandblast finishes?
Yeah, we've had a few people. We've put in a feature wall at the showroom, which highlights the cladding, and you're probably one of the first that have talked to us about varying thicknesses to give that sort of different feel to the cladding, and it looks really good. So yeah, it's something we can do, but it's probably something that we've first heard about from your request. Can we do it? Yeah, so the cladding's no problem, and now we know we can do the varying thicknesses quite well as well. So.
Yeah, because I'm looking forward to the paving products, one sandblast finish, and then we've got the wall cladding as well in a deeper sandblast finish, just to bring that subtle difference to it. And because we've chosen the Midnight Cathedral colour, there's actually, I don't know if you know this, but there's a big stainless steel sculpture from Sculptura that sits in front. So that stainless steel contrast onto that Midnight Cathedral paver should be beautiful, bold, and that's on the central axis of the stepping stones leading up to the pavilion.
Yeah, well, we have had requests in the past about getting the surface of the paving product lighter blasted. We don't have many people ask us for the heavier blasting, but now that we've seen what it looks like, with your request once again, it opens up another door to us to show customers what we can do. So yeah, I think you're right. The contrast is fantastic.
And I guess there's some estimation involved, but we've got the 20 and 50 mil product coming up from the bottom edge of the pool up to a water feature running over the top, so it's going to be interesting and hoping that the water follows the path that it should bear. But it'll be good to see that water rippling over the top as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly, when you described it to us, that's another dimension to it, having that water following those sort of contours rather than just a sheer drop. So yeah, I think
It's not that tall, that water feature. It's only 600 mil, but I think subtlety's got to be a key to that as well, and just the soft background noise of water running over those different thicknesses of pavement should be a really subtle but eye-catching feature.
Yep.